This is the Sports Porch, Black and Gold, with your hosts, the technical director, the Grand Schwalbini, and Hockey Jesus. Come on, Pittsburgh. Let's show a little Steelers, Penguins, and Pirates love. The Sports Porch Black and Gold starts now. I'm getting a little tired of that intro, guys. You think I should change it up?
Oh, yeah, you should definitely change it up.
You think so?
Yeah, well, I think it's a decision.
Yeah, every year, make it fresh.
I think it's a decision to have off air.
Yeah.
That we don't bring the fans into.
Yeah, well, anyway, thanks for being here.
I don't think the fans care about that.
No, I don't think they do either, but they might. You never know. Sports Porch Black and Gold is right here with you on YouTube Live. Of course, I'm going to tell you, if you haven't already hit that subscribe button, please do it. Click notifications. It's 7 p.m. on a Monday night, officially 7:01 right now. We're coming to you live from the Basement Studios in Monroeville. I'm the technical director. That's Hockey Jesus over there. He's in the Greenfield studio. Neighbor of Mike McCarthy. I guess we can say that officially, right? I mean, you don't live right next door, but, a couple blocks.
Close enough. We're in the same neighborhood.
I'm sorry, a little segue after I introduce the Grand Schwalbini below there, coming to us from Indiana Township, or as he likes to say,
South Fox Chapel.
Lox Chapel.
Northern Fox Chapel, I think. Anyway, do you really think Mike McCarthy, he doesn't live in the house in Greensburg? He's getting paid. Greenfield, excuse me. Right.
I think he moved back in to his parents' old house.
You're shitting me. Come on. Really?
Yeah, I am. Of course I am. No, he's not. He's not. I don't know where he's living, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Probably up in the North Hills with all the other Steelers.
They all move up there.
All the Steelers live up there in Cranberry or
most of
up
them.
that way.
Yeah, most of them. I know a few have rented, homes down in the city and stuff like that.
Yeah, like Washington Island. That's where Ben used to live.
Right, and then there's all those rumors about how Aaron Donald supposedly had the top floor of one of those skyscrapers downtown. I mean, I don't know if that's fact or fiction.
Yeah, and I think somebody had like a south side slope house, so you could see it overlooking the city.
AB didn't live anywhere. He just went around in a helicopter and slept on people's couches.
Oh boy.
All right, listen, man, we're going to talk black and gold sports tonight. There's a lot of stuff going on and we're probably going to start with the World Baseball Classic. I mean, I feel like there's a lot more going on here and a lot more discussion about that here in Pittsburgh because of the obvious Pittsburgh connections. So what does it mean to you? I mean, and then we'll move on to the Steelers. Now we've had a week plus of free agency. There was a big back out. Everybody knows, Max Crosby's not going to the Ravens now, but
that's hilarious.
It is kind of funny, but we're going to do a little Steelers roster check, the best and worst free agency moves so far. Do they still need more to go? And of course, the Penguins, we got Crosby coming back soon, right? Malkin off his 5-game suspension.
Yeah, Gino's playing tonight for sure. Okay. Crosby is not playing tonight for sure, but so his return is still TBD. It could be another 5 or 10 games, honestly.
And then we're going to talk about some things we've been binge watching or watching and tell you whether or not you should do it. You guys have some new ones, I think. I'm bringing back an old one. I've actually got a lot going on now in the streaming world. I don't know how I came up with all this time, but I'm literally watching like 4 things at once, and somehow I'm able to keep them all separated. Okay, so let's start. World Baseball Classic drama. Let's break it down. Okay, so everybody knows that the USA won 2-0. Gunnar Henderson, by the way.
2-1.
2-1.
Thank you. 2-1. Gunnar Henderson, go O's. Everybody knows that final strike called is controversial. I don't want to go into that kind of stuff about it.
It's okay. As soon as they adopt the pitch thing, then
I think this brings that whole thing into question because I got to admit, I was listening to the PM show on the fan while I was out in my car smoking a cigar, because that's what I do around here when it's snowing outside still. And I don't want to, anyway, it's my third living room. But I got to tell you, listening to that show, I got to give them credit. They backed up what I've been thinking all along. The ump was calling that low strike all game long.
It's true.
It wasn't a one-off. And I think, and I'm going to save the rhetoric about their conversation. I think what it led me to do is dig in even more. Listen, every batter is different. They're different size. So that strike zone is different. I'm sorry.
It moves. It's a computer. It can handle it.
I get it. But what I'm also saying is that if you take the umpires, the good umpires, because he's a good umpire. If you take a good umpire, the good umpires out of the game, then they have no reason to be there. And there's no human element. It's always been one of the big attractions of sports is that the referees, the people calling the game, were human and made mistakes. And if you go to measures to make it perfect, then you really water it down. That's perfect. My opinion. Well, you're trying to.
Well, you're barely using it. You get like 2 challenges the whole game, and you better leave them for that last strike, or you're without a challenge. So it barely does anything. It just gets an important call once a game right.
Maybe.
That's all.
Yeah. Well, on
and
that
the other thing is when you leave the human element into it, then it can be ruined by gambling. So, that's going to happen whether you believe it or not. In our lifetime, you will see an absolute scandal from either a player or a referee, umpire, whatever you want to call the people who, ump the games. They're going to be bought off. It's going to happen. There's just too much money in it right now. And that's why I think eventually it will just go to robo-umps, because you can't buy off a robo-ump unless, somebody who does the computer and you can change it by a millimeter on each side for your own team or something like that.
Yeah, well, you can hack those things, but you know what, HJ, actually, you bring up a really good point. It's almost as if you're saying that I don't want to say you're disagreeing with me about the human element. I want to think that you like the human element, but you're being more realistic about it in saying that, look, the technology is there, and if you want to keep the betting as honest as possible, you got to take the human element out of it, and then that way there's no question. So that's a point that I really haven't heard. Have you, Grant Schwalbini, heard that point anywhere?
No, but it seems pretty obvious that Steve pointed it out. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like that, I'm going, okay, yeah. With, you have to kind of merge the online betting and the legalized gambling thing has just exploded. And there's so much money in it. If I'm a referee or an umpire and somebody's saying to me, here's a chance for you to make, a couple $100,000 in one game, not saying I would do it, but there's a lot of greedy people out there.
Or maybe your child needs surgery.
Right, or maybe there's something going on that you're not aware of.
Well, that'll be when we get universal health care, Mark.
Here we go again.
Not to make this a political show.
Here we go again.
By the way, I did hear one thing about the World Baseball Classic. I heard Paul Skeens pitched in it last night.
He did.
Maybe we should talk about that.
Well, didn't he pitch like 4 1/3 or something like that?
That's where I was going. I mean, that was a little bit of a segue. I think it was some great color. It actually renews kind of that debate because the last thing I'll say is I agreed with one of the guys on the fan on the PM team. I don't remember which one it was, but he said, why complain? I mean, you had arguably one of the best lineups ever in baseball. Score more than one run.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I agree.
They had multiple chances to score.
Of course. You score one run, it's your fault. You lost.
That's right. So get over it. Yes, Paul Skeens pitched 4 1/3, gave up 6 hits, which is uncharacteristic, but great lineup he was facing. One earned run, two strikeouts. He did give up the home run, but his ERA for the Classic so far is 1.08. I mean, look, the guy's a stud. Absolutely, he's a stud. Another cool thing, David Bednar pitched. He got out of a jam with 2 Ks. I think he pitched in the 5th, 6th, 7th inning. And then Mason Miller from, I think he's from, Bednar's from Mars. Mason Miller.
I think he's from Mount Lebanon.
Somewhere, I think he's from the South Hills, right?
Yeah, Upper St. Clair or Mount Lebanon, somewhere down there.
So he gets a save. Man, what a prodigy he's become out of nowhere, you know? I mean, incredible. So does that make it more exciting? I mean, Miller's not on the Pirates, but you know, you had who from Skin? Who was in the lineup for the U.S. from the Pirates? You have Skeens. You had
O'Neal Cruz was on
O'Neal Cruz. Right? O'Neal Cruz was on the Dominican team.
The Dominican team. But anyway.
Tatis, wasn't he?
Yeah, the Dominicans used O'Neal Cruz as a pinch hitter. He was 3 for 5 in total in the World Baseball Classic. So he did a good job pinch hitting. He hit 600 as a pinch hitter.
Too bad we went and got a pinch hitter.
Right.
Wait. World Baseball Classic includes Martians. That's bad staff work. You know, Mars is a city or a small town north of Pittsburgh. Pat off track. Calls Fairfield. Yeah, we get it, Mike Lawrence. Thanks for being here anyway. Again, of course. So does the World Baseball Classic now, you know, does it make it more exciting, you know, for the Pirates season? I mean, I'm excited to see Paul Skeens pitch again. I actually think I look at his performance so far. I mean, he's not going to pitch the next game, but
he's done.
But he's dominated. You know, it's like this guy doesn't even need spring training. He's on another level. He's like on a Greg Maddux level of just being able to just, you know, crank out innings and always have a pretty high chance of a high quality start. You know, 7-8 times out of 10, he's going to have a high quality start. And I think there was a funny comment I heard today where they said watching the World Baseball Classic is like getting used to watching Paul Skeens in another uniform. You know,
that's true.
Right.
It's like can you honest to God? I mean,
but did you hear what Skeens said?
No, what did he say?
I did not. No.
Yeah, I read an article. I don't know. I think it was an AP article or something like that. That basically he said, wouldn't this be great if we could bring this to Pittsburgh? Because I mean, there were only like 36,000 people in the stands for this thing. So it's not like it's, you know, it's a huge crowd, but everybody who's there is really into it, right? I think PNC holds 42,000 if I got that right. But that's the thing. Like the guy just says everything right. You know, this is what I want to do. I want to bring this atmosphere to Pittsburgh. You know, he called himself an honorary Yinzer because he was talking about all the other Pittsburghers there. He felt like he was an honorary Yinzer, and he really wants to bring that type of baseball back to Pittsburgh. And I truly believe him. You know, I think he wants to pitch in those games, you know, high pressure, you know, big crowds, you know, just that atmosphere. It's completely different than anything else he's ever pitched in the major leagues, except for maybe some of his first starts. And even those have kind of waned now, you know, but that's what I love about Skeens the most is he says the right thing. Well, first, he's a phenomenal talent. And then he says the right things. And he says the right things as if, you know, he wants to stay in Pittsburgh, which I love. I just love about the guy. I mean, honestly, he makes me want to go out and buy a ticket just to watch him. If I could find a way not to have that money go in the Nuttings wallet, I would absolutely buy it. Maybe I should buy him off of Skeens.
Well, give him a phone call, send him an email.
Maybe I'll have Mike McCarthy, my neighbor, go ask him.
Yeah, your best friend. So from now on, from now until Mike McCarthy is no longer part of the Steelers organization, which I imagine at this point is probably going to be the rest of our lives, but he will always be referred to as Steve's best friend, Coach McCarthy. Okay. Steve's best friend, Coach McCarthy.
I think it's more like Steve's neighbor.
No, I like Steve's best friend.
I like neighbor. I like neighbor because Pittsburgh is a neighborly.
You're all weird over there in Greenfield.
Neighbor is the truth.
Yeah, it is the truth. But you're all. By the way, seating capacity of PNC Park is 37,898.
Okay, so it's almost exactly what he was pitching.
Yeah. Maybe 899 on a bad day. I don't know.
You could get some standing room seats only.
Yeah, standing stand room up behind the whole, the whole whirly round thing.
The rotunda,
The rotunda, yeah.
There you go. So we have to add those in. We have to add those in too. So, I think the Pirate season is going to be very interesting this year. And this is right now, Paul Skeens is the name in baseball. I mean, it's, he's the biggest name on this squad. I wager to say he's bigger than Andrew McCutchen getting, the hoopla around the Kutch when he got here was nowhere near what Skeens was. I mean, he developed a fan base because he had an MVP year, but it's really hard for me to believe that they're not, or to think that they're not going to hold on to this guy. I mean, if he's saying the right things, which is old school baseball, so somebody's coached him really well, not just how to play baseball, but how to handle the show, kind of like in Bull Durham. When you get to the show, this is what you say. So, I'm just happy to be here. Hope I can help the club, and God willing, whatever. It's a script, and he's good at it. And I'd love to see him stick around. It makes me want to be excited for this year because we have some better hitters. The Connor Griffin saga, I'm starting to think they may leave him down to start the year. I think he's batting .212 right now. So it's kind of like, I don't know. I'd love to see him in a Pirates uniform, though. But they always play that game. So I think this time next week we'll have a much better feel for a Pirates preview show. I'll have a couple more days to prepare. And it's 10 days till opening day, right, guys?
Yeah, that sounds right.
So we'll have an analysis of that for next week's show. But drop a comment, hit that subscribe button. We do drop the show on the podcast, iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or anywhere you get your freaking podcasts. Would really appreciate your subscription. Click notifications every Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern time. All right, let's talk about a Steelers roster check. You know what, HJ, you suggested this topic, so I want to start with you. What do you think their best, worst moves were? Do you think there are any more to come? And remember, these are fan perspectives. It's us, 120 combined years or more of watching sports. I'd say that makes us armchair?
Closer to 150.
Yeah, right. Okay. Well, I was trying. I didn't want to give away our age that much. So anyway, HJ, what are you thinking
here? So I'll go with what I think they did right first. I mean, there are two guys that really stand out for me, but I can only pick one, so I'm only going to pick one. I think the Rico Dowdle pick is my favorite so far.
That's interesting. I like that. And
the reason I like it is because Kenny Gainwell, whether you like him or not, was instrumental in what they did last year, 100%. And they lost him. So, and what they got, I think, instead is a faster back. So, I love that. I love that he's coming back. I've been a Caleb Johnson fan. I've been wanting to see him play, and I only want to see him play if he's going to be the feature back. If he's going to be a back of three, then he's probably going to be useless to us. But we already know the Steelers can't pick draft picks. So the fact that they went out to get him, I'm actually pretty thrilled about. I think that is probably their best signing. Second place would be Jamel Dean for me from Tampa Bay, just because it cheers up the defense. Although they did go out and get two other safeties. Which is important because I think the guy they lost that I liked the most was Miles Killebrew. I liked him a lot because I think he he was a good special teams guy, and you need a guy to be able to tackle on special teams, and especially now that the ball's in play. And he played that defensive back, that nickel, that safety position whenever they had injuries. So I think they went out and got those other two guys just to have, some more depth there. I think that's probably their biggest loss. I want to say Sayamalu, but I don't think they were bringing him back. And I think they have other guys who can step up and play almost as good as him. But they're going to have somebody step up on that offensive line, like Frazier maybe, to be the leader of that line now, in his absence. So that's the way I see the Steelers free agency so far. I think it's definitely a solid A-.
Well, wait a minute. Did you give your pick for the move that you didn't like the most?
The move I didn't like was not signing Miles Killebrew. I think they should have signed him.
He said that to lead off.
Yeah.
I know you were dozing there, Schwaber, but he said that to lead off.
I just think that he brings a special teams leadership that's really important. I thought their special teams were really good last year, and he was definitely a part of that. But I guess they'll probably think that Skoranek can be the guy to fill in that spot now. I don't know. We'll see what happens. It's a small little thing. So I think, like I said, I think they've so far have had a solid offseason. Let's see how bad they blow their draft picks. How about you, Schwaber?
You're right.
Well, I would say the two that I like the most, I like the trade for Michael Pittman. I really think that you've now added, again, we don't really refer to DK Metcalf as a number one, but let's just kind of call him like a 1A, 1B kind of thing.
Right.
And I sort of feel like Michael Pittman is the same. So it's like you kind of have two 1As on the team now. That's pretty solid as your first and second receiver. So I like that a lot. I also like the signing of Jaquan Brisker, the safety from Penn State who played for the Bears. I really like him. He's a playmaker, and I think that he's just kind of, I don't know, I think not given really enough credit for, his level of play in this league. I think he's going to really surprise some people, and it's going to be really solid. As far as the moves that I am not crazy about, I wasn't crazy about losing CA3. I have grown to love CA3.
You just like the nickname.
No. In all seriousness, look, I think CA3 is kind of like that great number 3, number 4 receiver. And I just feel like you just sort of got rid of that, and you sort of created that now sort of as a whole. And then I also like the fact that he could return punts for you too.
Right.
So I didn't like that. And to be honest, I'm going to actually, this is maybe going to surprise you a little bit, Steve, but I'm going to kind of go the opposite on the Rico Dowdle move. Not that I don't think that Rico Dowdle is a decent player. I do think he's a decent player, but I just don't know that it was really a need. You've got Jaylen Warren, who at least right now is your feature back, unless you want Caleb Johnson to become your feature back. So I kind of feel like you already have two. You might as well just sort of draft the running back like in the 4th or 5th round and kind of roll with that. I don't know that you needed, I think you're right. It's almost kind of like they sort of like filled the Kenny Gainwell void. But I don't know that they really needed to. So that was just kind of my thought. I mean, not that I'm sure I'll probably be happy with him when he plays well this year, but I just don't know that it was necessary.
Yeah, I can agree with you on that. Just because it's exactly what you said. If you feel like Caleb Johnson is the guy, then you didn't need to go get somebody. You have two guys. You can go get any third running back to fill in that third spot, right?
Right.
And they clearly are not. Something's wrong with Caleb Johnson. As far as the CA3 thing, the only reason I didn't pick him, he's so injury prone. And any wide receiver that starts to get injury prone, they always miss time. They'll miss 4 or 5 games. So, and I think that's what's hindered his whole career. Remember, he missed his whole first season because of that.
Right.
And so that's the only reason I went that way. Sorry, TD, I jumped on you.
That's all right. Well, while you were going down that road, I was watching a great fight between 2 players on the Bruins and the Devils.
Oh, is that why you lost?
My nephew just get an assist on a goal, so it's 2-1 Penn Trafford.
There you go.
Is that why? Why did you lose your visual there?
Me?
Yeah, I don't know. You were completely off screen for a minute.
Well, I have no idea. I was just watching this hockey game. Okay, back to the.
Yeah, pay attention to the program you're on.
I love you guys. I really do. I love you guys. I wouldn't put up with this kind of BS.
All right, Chris, let's get your thoughts.
Let's do that.
2 signings you liked, 2 signings you either didn't like, or non-signings that you didn't like.
Right. Okay. So let me start by saying this. This is a new regime. It's the obvious. It's a new day in Steelers Nation because it's a new head coach after all that time. So that being said, overall, I like the secondary help that we've brought in. I think at the very least, we're getting younger. And you remember the last few years, who did we sign? Patrick Peterson and Darius Slay. And then, as a kicker, we brought in a pass.
Big play Slay announced his retirement today.
Right. Thank you. He should have retired.
Big play Slay retired.
Yeah. So
he leaves as a Steeler.
There you go. He leaves as a Steeler. World champion, but a Steeler. So
another Hall of Fame Steeler.
Okay, so at the very least, for anybody who has disagreed, because I've heard some of that out there about this, about signing Jamel Dean, Jaquan Brisker, and Sebastian Joseph Day. Okay, he's adding another big body to that line.
Good depth.
I think it's a gamble on Samuel Jr. Because of his previous injury, but it's a 1 year, $4 million deal.
Yeah, 1 year, $4 million.
Savage as a safety. He was a first round pick. Mike McCarthy, 2019 Packers, which leads me to say that I don't have a favorite. Well, if I have to pick a favorite, I'm going to pick the Jamel Dean. I think that's a great addition to the other side. It's a guy who can keep up with Joey Porter. He's a couple years older than Joey Porter, but he's had some real success. He's very highly graded, and you're putting a guy who wants to succeed, not a guy who's getting ready to retire and doesn't want to be bothered by a guy who's a rookie. I'm not saying they didn't coach him up, but you know what I mean. So I like the Jamel Dean signing. Okay. A lot of this other stuff like Savage, the Packers, I do appreciate that they signed a Bill Burr lookalike. They re-signed him as the punter, Cameron Johnston, the Bill Burr lookalike. Brings a little comedy to the locker room. I think that's done on purpose. Who cares how he punts? He tells funny jokes. I don't
think they signed him for his comedy.
I know that. I know that. But here's the one that kind of leaves me perplexed. And that is the Rico Dowdle signing. Now it's obvious because McCarthy had him in Dallas. That part is obvious. This to me is a sign that, first of all, Gainwell, he signed somewhere else for more money. So great. But not a whole lot more. But what it tells me is that Gainwell, they didn't want to lose Gainwell, and McCarthy said, I know this guy. He's a hard worker. He knows my offense. Let's plug him in, which also tells me that Jaylen Warren, and I'm going to say this, and people are going to completely blast me for it, but it tells me that Jaylen Warren is I don't want to say on his way out, but he's on the back burner. And that obviously Caleb Johnson He doesn't even matter. Okay. He was drafted by a previous regime. Mike McCarthy probably would not have drafted him. I doubt he's on the roster to start the season. They're going to make some other moves. That's my opinion. So while I don't like the Rico Dowdle signing because it signifies that they know they have an issue at running back, I do understand why it's done. So that would be my least favorite. And then overall, the Michael Pittman move, I think, was brilliant. However, Aaron Rodgers.
Boy. You had to bring it up.
Well, I mean, it's the elephant in the room. You know, it's the elephant in the room. It's like, you know, can we settle this or not? You know, Michael Pittman's not going to be happy if somebody else is throwing, but of course they want Aaron Rodgers because they know they're at least going to have a chance to catch 50 balls, 60 balls, 80 balls. You know, anyway, so that those are my thoughts on that. If you have any thoughts, leave us a comment. You guys care to redirect on any of that?
No, I don't. I think you have sound thoughts when it comes to it.
How is that?
I mean,
possible?
I think well, first of all, I don't think Jaylen Warren is looked upon unfavorably at all. I think it's more telling that they don't think much of Caleb Johnson.
Yeah,
bringing in Rico Dowdle.
Right.
And that doesn't mean that he won't change their minds, but that's the concern there. Yeah, I mean, look, the Aaron Rodgers thing, I think everybody knows it's like a nod, wink, wink behind the scenes that he's going to be there.
Right.
However, the one thing about Aaron Rodgers that is sort of problematic is every day that he doesn't sign, you never know if he's going to change his mind and just decide he wants to retire. And so, like, for example, I think the draft is going to be really interesting just from the perspective of, I don't think he's going to be signed by the time of the draft. And when they're drafting, you know, there's a lot of talk that the Steelers really like Ty Simpson from Alabama. We have no idea if he'll be available when the Steelers are picking or how much they like him, if maybe they would go up and try to get him. But let's just say they do end up drafting Ty Simpson. Now is Rodgers coming back? You know what I mean? Like, so.
Well, I think if he's coming back, he's coming back no matter what.
I don't know. I mean, like, if you're Aaron Rodgers, right? Let's say, because look, he's got to look at it like this. He's at a point in his health with his age that he's gonna miss time, and he may look at it like, all right, well, okay, Ty Simpson's going to be the quarterback because he's drafted in the first round. He's obviously going to have his time. Well, what if Rodgers comes out and gets hurt like in the third game of the season, but it's only a 1-month injury, and Ty Simpson comes in and lights it up on fire? You know, he's not going to be happy about his last season having to sit on the bench because Ty Simpson's really good.
Right.
You know what I mean? So he may say, I don't want that kind of circus if they draft a quarterback in the first round. He might. You never know. I'm just saying that.
Well, the other thing the Steelers might do in that situation is not even play Ty Simpson. They might just play Rudolph for 4 games, you know, knowing he's going to come back. It's impossible to know.
Listen, it really, really pisses me off that we are still stuck in this disgusting quarterback situation that was left by Mike Tomlin. I mean, this is ridiculous. I mean, think about the names that have gone through that quarterback room. Let me tell you something. This reminds me of, and I don't want anybody out there to take this any way other than exactly how I'm saying it. It reminds me of the first few years after Joe Gibbs left the Redskins. It was a quarterback carousel that continues to this day. Everybody can say they have Jaden Daniels as their quarterback, but they don't yet. They don't. Look, RG3 lasted a season and a half. Jaden Daniels played about a season and a half, and he's about to start his third season. There's no way of knowing whether or not he's going to be full throttle. And that's what I'm worried about right now. I mean, we're talking Ben retired, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, because he's up for Hall of Fame, right?
Yeah, 5 years, right.
You got to be out 5 years. So
got to be out 5, right.
You're talking 5 friggin' years of, I'm not even going to say the names because it's embarrassing, but I'll say some of the Redskins names. Danny Werfel. I mean, I guess that's all I have to say. I'm just really worried about this situation, and I hope, and this year we have to go through it again. That's the point. We have a new head coach. We have a new head coach who has admittedly in his head coaching career stepped into pretty good quarterbacking situations, just like Mike Tomlin did. When he went to Green Bay, they had Favre and then Rodgers. When he went to Dallas, he had Prescott. Where else has he been a head coach? Not in a situation like that. Of course he wants Rodgers back. That's the easy play. So let's hope he gets this next quarterback right. Let's hope he gets it right.
I also think that they may have left something good on the table by not having any interest in Kyler Murray simply because they're banking on Rodgers coming back.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think you're right about that, Mark.
I don't like Kyler Murray in this offense ever, because it's a West Coast offense, which is based on timing. And Kyler Murray is not a guy that is in a timing offense. He is a playmaker. So he improvises a lot. Now in Minnesota, he's got Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson. They know how to improvise as well. I don't know that he's going to do well up there, but I think, and he's playing indoors for at least 8 games, if not more, because of the Detroit games and whatever. I think that's a good move for them. I do not think he would have done well in a Steelers uniform. Now, it's not to say he wouldn't have been a little more exciting. I mean, that much I'll give you, definitely. Because I don't want to watch a skeleton back there. I'm sorry, Rodgers is a skeleton, man. I mean, look, man, if you watch this, Aaron, I'd love to sit down with you and have a beer. I don't drink, but for you, I might make an exception. I don't know. But still, I mean, he's a skeleton back there. We all know it. So I just don't like going into this season like that. To me, all of these big signings, the Michael Pittman and all that, it's kind of like, where are we going to be if we have to bring in a guy that's going to lose 4 games, like Rudolph or whatever? So there's my feelings.
Well, here's where you're going a little bit wrong.
Before the draft. Now the draft could change things.
Yeah, of course. It always can. You can always say that, you got the right players in the draft, and hopefully this year they'll actually play some of them. But I think where you're going wrong is we felt that way about Aaron Rodgers coming in last year, right? And we ended up winning the AFC North with him. So, I mean, I get it. They're being held hostage by him. And I think where you're going wrong with the Tomlin thing, he actually did try. He failed miserably, but he did try and replace Ben. Remember, he got Rudolph first. And that was going to be Ben's replacement. But then that didn't work out because Ben was boo-boo face with him in there. And then he played for 3 more years. Not great, okay? And
bring back the boo-boo face. I love that.
and then they went out to get Kenny Pickett. Yeah. Tomlin thought that Pickett was going to be the guy. And that failed miserably, So right. So all he was left with was just hoping that old guys would come here and play, and that would resurrect his career. Well, it didn't resurrect Tomlin's career. It's not going to resurrect Aaron Rodgers' career. So they do have to get it right in the next 2 quarterback picks. Even if they go and get Ty Simpson and he stinks this year. And I'm not gonna include the Ohio State quarterback from last year because he's a 5th round pick. If you want to be serious. If you want to be serious about a quarterback, you got to take him in the 1st round. Okay. That's the only place where you get Super Bowl winning quarterbacks. 90% of the time. So
right.
I am willing to wait another 5 to 7 years for a quarterback because, look, I endured all of the 1980s and most of the and into the 1990s waiting for Ben Roethlisberger to come along. And when he did come along, the team was ready to win. So I don't know. I've just been through this before, so I guess I'm a little bit more patient than you. I feel that in that same time frame, they'll get a new owner that Art Rooney the second will finally step down, and there'll be another Rooney in there that hopefully will know what he or she is doing. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah,
I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of bringing in Mara Rooney and then turning this into a complete reality show.
And the great ideas just keep coming.
I do actually have some inside information.
Awesome.
That this Rooney is not long for this job, and that is why the kind of un-Steelers-like pick of McCarthy, probably really more a short-term, kind of maybe like a 5-year type answer was made. And I believe that he is also the one who is really enamored with Ty Simpson. And so the thinking that I've been spoken to about is that by bringing in McCarthy for one last run at a title in his last 5 years leading the program and potentially finding the quarterback of the future, that's him trying to create some sort of legacy for himself before him handing it over to the younger Rooney.
I mean, are you friends with his therapist? Is that where this is coming from?
Don't divulge your source.
I know. And I'm not kidding about this. I know.
That's what I'm saying is you have a source.
I know somebody that knows the younger Rooney.
Okay. So in other words, what you're saying is you've been given permission to say this without revealing who your source is, like a true journalist.
No, I have not been given permission. I am, but there's no way you can draw it back because I protect my sources.
That's right. Protect your sources, Mark. Well played.
Okay. I'll give you one. I have a source for real. This is no joke. I have a source who has told me
Moyo.
No, I don't talk to that guy. Hopefully he's watching because he knows I'm not talking about him. Anyway, I have a source who is very well acquainted with a close friend of the Tomlins, who says that the Tomlins left. Now, it was good timing, but left basically because Mrs. Tomlin, who I will not name, I will just say Mrs. Tomlin, was not fond of Pittsburgh and found it to be, let's just say, not a very friendly town as far as, exactly. I don't want to turn this into a political show, but that there was pressure being put on Mike Tomlin by his family, most notably his wife, that they were no longer happy living here because of certain aspects of society that they didn't feel were very friendly. I'm not indicting anybody by saying this. I'm not saying it's true or it's not true, but I have a source who says that was the real reason. And then, of course, you can throw on top, well, look at the playoff scenario, and it kind of made sense. So,
well, they did actually speak recently.
Yes, at the Irish thing.
Yeah, and I mean, of course, what are they going to say? But they're going to just say really nice things. But
of course,
said that they loved it here, and it was an honor to be here.
You know what? And I bet for a long time they did. I mean, just to kind of, I'm not backtracking that source. I got it. It's a legitimate source who gave me some information, and I did get permission to use this information. I actually got it a few weeks back, and I wanted to wait, but I did get permission.
You wanted to verify, so you got a second source to verify the story.
I got the source to verify that the source was actually the source. So the point is, they listen to this show and have been encouraging others to listen to the show, so they'll know that it's on the up and up. I got permission to talk about it. Obviously, I can't reveal my source, but I believe it. I believe it. So there's all kinds of things that go on behind the scenes that we're not aware of. So yeah, sure. Does Mike McCarthy want to try to have a legacy before they pass along the torch to the younger Rooney? Maybe. Maybe that could be true. I could see that in a way. Or maybe what he's trying to do is he's trying to hit a home run here. And if he does, he'll get to coach a couple more years. Who knows? Who knows? This is awesome. Pat, you are right on track. Second source, voices inclined.
That was pretty good.
I think
Pat.
That's the primary source.
Congratulations, Pat. On track for one evening. We love you, buddy. We do. We love you. So, hey guys, anything else about the Steelers that you guys want to go down here? Other than, I don't know.
I think in the weeks coming up, we'll start breaking down the draft and who they might pick. But yeah. I think maybe just a tad early for that. Yeah.
Yeah. And everybody's breaking it down left and right now. And the combine is over. But yeah, there's and this part of the Steelers season this year is going to be one of the more exciting drafts, not just because the draft is in Pittsburgh, but because we do have a lot of draft capital and we do have a new head coach with a new system. And we did go out and address some needs in free agency and with some trades that are I would call them solid NFL players with an upside, not a lot of players with a downside, except maybe Dowdle. But so, yeah, it's going to be exciting. We'll be talking about it a lot more. Right next to me over here, this is a guy, Hockey Jesus. Now, Hockey Jesus usually preaches after every single damn Penguins game, no matter what. He brings it to you. He sermonizes. Is that a word? Sermonizes?
Sermonizes. Yeah, I love it.
Okay, cool.
I don't think it's a word.
Okay, look it up, please. I mean,
no, I don't think it is either, but I love it.
But we made it a word. He is Hockey Jesus. He sermonizes on the podcast and on YouTube after every Pens game. Now, look, he took a vacation. So for you diehards, he deserved it. He went down to the Turks.
Sermonizes is a word.
Oh, thank you. Mm-hmm. I'm brilliant. I'm absolutely brilliant. So made my day. So I'm going to let him talk. Now you were gone for what, 3 games? Was it 3 games you were down there basking in the sunlight?
3 games. Yes.
Okay.
3 games. That's right. I missed.
So now we have 16, 17 games left, right?
Let's see. They played 66. So you can do the math.
16 games. Thank you.
There you go.
I did the math right in front of everybody up here. Anyway, how are you feeling about coming back? What are your thoughts on the playoffs? Crosby and Malkin. Malkin is back tonight. Crosby should be back soon. Chinikov, great move there. Love that guy. Ben Kindle. You can't say enough about that kid. Can we get some of this excitement back in these last 16 games and kind of push into the playoffs? Can we do that?
Well, I don't think we ever lost it, to be completely honest with you.
Right, right.
That overtime win versus Boston was huge. And then, they hit the road since then. So they've played at Carolina, at Las Vegas, at the Vegas Knights, and then at Utah. Okay. At Carolina, they came back from a 2-goal deficit to steal a point there. Now they lost in a shootout, right?
Yeah.
But they still got a goal from Brian Rust with the goalie pulled. And it was an incredible point. They lost the game, but they still got a point out of it. And I said, if they get 3 points on this road trip, I'll be happy. So to me, that was like, okay, money in the bank. When they went to Vegas, they got their asses handed to them. Actually, the game was still pretty close. They lost 6-3, but it was 3-2 going into the third period. They just ran out of energy in the third period and ran out of magic, really. But then they came out and played hard at Utah, and despite getting down 2 goals in the first period, ended up winning 5-4. So I love the way they're playing right now. And the thing is, Okay, so that means without Gino, they are 1, 2. They're 2-3. They went 2-3 without Gino, and they still got 5 of the 10 points. That's pretty damn good. If you can get half the points that you need to get without your 2 superstars, Gino and Sid, that's absolutely perfect. They haven't really lost any ground after they lost to Buffalo. They were projected to get 99 points on the season, and as of the win in Utah, they're still projected to get 99 points on the season. So they've held their ground, and that's what they need to do, because the likes of now you can start with 15 games left, you can start the scoreboard watch. Okay. Philadelphia was coming on a little strong. They fell back. Columbus beat them, I think, the other night. So now Columbus has taken the upper hand in the chase for that third spot in the Metro. And also the Islanders have been playing pretty good too. So they're tied with the Penguins, but the Penguins have a game on hand with them. So they have to continue to keep getting points. If they lose, they got to take it to overtime. If they win, they got to beat teams like, and they don't play them very much, but they got to beat teams like Ottawa, New York Islanders, Detroit. They actually don't play Columbus the remainder of the year, so that there's no really 2-point swing that Columbus can get from us the rest of the year. So that's good. But yeah, I love the way they're playing. And you mentioned Chinakhov. You're absolutely right. He's been the spark that's really kind of made this team more than likely to make the playoffs, kind of likely to potentially, I'm not going to say make a run, but at least maybe win the first round with Chinakhov. So it's been 29 games with Chinakhov. They're 17-12, and they have 39 points in 29 games, which that would equate to about 110 points on the season if they played that out for a full season. That's president level play right there. That's right. That's top of the league play when you're playing at that level. So even though, that does, because, I'm not using that third column because it sounds like 17-12 sounds like a bad record. It's actually a very good record. If you're 5 games over by not counting the that point system that we use, it's an incredible run. So yeah, he's been a spark. They get Gino back tonight. I read something that said Sid might come back. I've been watching the Pens app. They're not hinting that he's coming back tonight. So that's not going to happen. So that means tonight you're going to have Novak center in a line with Malkin and Chinakhov. You'll have Raquel, Rust, and Mantha together. Then you'll have Brazeau had been hurt too for a couple games. So Brazeau's back also. So he'll be on a line with Kindle and Koivunen. Actually, Kindle will be center in that line. And then Soderblom, the guy they picked up at the trade deadline, he is a big guy, 6'8". He definitely looks huge out there. So he's going to be playing because I guess Lizotte is day-to-day, but no major injury there. But he's going to be taking the night off tonight. Maybe they sent him home to get some R&R because, well, they're still got to go to at Carolina on Wednesday. So that'll be the last game on the road trip. But I love the way they're playing, even though I tell you what, being overseas, it's impossible to get hockey live because it just doesn't exist. Even I'm telling you, the ESPN app is terrible. I have ESPN Plus, but because my hometown's Pittsburgh, even when I'm freaking in the Turks, I can't watch a Penguins game on ESPN Plus because it's my hometown team, and the SNP app, forget about it. Don't even try and use it outside of the Pittsburgh area because it's absolute garbage. And so I was actually following the games. I think it was on ESPN or maybe it was CBS Sports, where they do the play-by-play. It's actually quite interesting watching a game like that because they tell you the hits. They tell you, if there's a turnover, you can see when they shoot and they miss, and you kind of have a written record of it. So you can go back to the last 5 plays and see what kind of transpired to get you to either the goal or, to a penalty or something like that. It's pretty interesting way to watch it. I wouldn't want to do that all the time, but as a pinch for 3 games, it wasn't too bad. And, it wasn't bad at all. Thank you, my brethren. Thank you, my flock, for, allowing me to take this sabbatical and this time off. And I will be back in force starting tonight. Tonight's a 9:30 start, so you may wait till tomorrow. You may have to wait till tomorrow until you get a hockey Jesus, because I got to go back to work for the first time in 5 days. And let me tell you, it's going to be hard getting up at 3:30 after going to bed at 1:30 if I stay up and watch the game. So you may not get one from me tonight, but you will get one from me.
HJ, taking this retreat and this sabbatical, did you find yourself closer to God?
I did not find myself getting bitten by a donkey. That's the important thing. The important thing is I did not get bitten by a donkey. In fact, I didn't even see a donkey, so I must have been the donkey.
I tried to tell you. So,
did I feel closer to God? Absolutely.
Yeah. I was going to say, how about an answer?
Beautiful down there. You can't not be down in the Turks Caicos area and not think what an unbelievable creation this world is. It's just fantastic. Mike's asking, are the Pens pretty much a lock for the playoffs? Absolutely not. They got Columbus that could easily take over that spot. Like I said, Philadelphia is still kind of hanging around. Ottawa could still make a run for it too. But Ottawa, fortunately for us, is in the other in the Atlantic, so they can't take over the 3rd spot. It's looking very, very likely that there'll be 5 teams from the Atlantic and only 3 from the Metro making the playoffs. So you're going to have to be in the top 3 to be able to make the playoffs. If you want to be, if you're thinking for the Pittsburgh Penguins, it doesn't look likely they'll get a wild card spot. It's either they'll probably, right now they're kind of locked into a playoff spot with the New York Islanders, which is not good for us because we get snake bit by them in the playoffs all the time. No, absolutely not a lock for the playoffs. That's why you got to continue to watch and cheer for the home team. It'll be a big shot in the arm when Sid comes back, because he's going to come back real healthy. He's been skating for over a week now, and he's going to come back healthy, and that's going to really help. Anytime you lose a player of a caliber of Gino, definitely of Sidney Crosby, and they were playing without Russ for a little while there. Everybody just plays better because they up their game, and they have to play in spots where they normally wouldn't have to. So if they get into the playoffs and they lose somebody, they're going to be able to fill in like that. They're not going to have to figure it out. And when you play a 7-game series, there's no figuring it out. You got to know what you're doing. And that's what happens when a team plays without their captain for a while. They know that they can get leadership. They can get that secondary scoring from somewhere else. That's going to help them as long as they can make the playoffs. But it's going to be a dogfight. But right now, they're absolutely in a playoff spot. Even if all they really have to do is go 8-8. They go 8-8 the rest of the way. They're going to make the playoffs. So they're at an advantage, and they can keep getting loser points, and that helps them. Last 3 years, that's what the other teams would do to them. They would get loser points, and the Pens just couldn't make up any ground, even though they were playing well at the end of the season. And but they still got a tough schedule ahead of them. Although the away stretch, the last 5 games, well, this game is the 4th of the 5, and then back to Carolina. We'll see what happens. I can tell HJ is just itching to get back at this because I feel like he just told us the same thing twice. I mean, all due respect, HJ, I can tell you're just itching to get back at it. Well, the one thing I do have to mention, we know that Gino got a 5-game suspension. Mm-hmm. And we also know that Sidney Crosby has been out since the hockey, the Olympics. Did you know Ratko Gudas, our buddy that took out Sid, happened to take out Austin Matthews? Did you see that hit?
I didn't see the hip, but I know he's out for the year.
Dirty AF. He need Austin Matthews coming through the neutral zone. Actually, he was coming into the offensive zone, just basically shattered his knee. And you know what he got? 5 games. He got a 5-game suspension for taking out one of the best players in the league with a dirty hit. This is how ridiculous the NHL is when it comes to policing what goes on the ice. That guy should never play in the fucking NHL ever again. Yep. He should be banned from the NHL. He takes out Sidney Crosby. Now he takes off Austin Matthews. And what does he get? The same freaking suspension as Geno Malkin, who, hit a guy with the stick in the head glancingly, and he deserved it. But that's absolutely ridiculous. Shame on the NHL for that kind of suspension. They should be ashamed of themselves. Now I feel better.
And I feel like we just heard that twice. Yes, thank you. That was Hockey Jesus, who preaches on the podcast after every single Penguins game. He sermonizes, which is a word. Look it up. And we drop it on the podcast on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcast, Spotify. Anywhere.
By the way, I don't know if you caught this, HJ, but Connor McDavid has called upon the NHL to audit the suspension process because he thinks it's ridiculous. Did you see that?
Well, that's good. Finally, No, I didn't hear that, but that's good to hear because the superstars need to start speaking out because McDavid could be next. He could get a headshot. Right. Somebody could get 5 games for it, and he could be out for the whole of the playoffs. How would the NHL like that?
Right.
I think they probably weren't too upset because now Toronto probably has a shot at Gavin McKenna. Now they're gonna tank. They're gonna be in the bottom 3 for sure. So it's ridiculous. But I'm glad to hear that McDavid's starting to stick up for some of the other superstars. It's about time.
All right. Hockey Jesus after every Penguins game at the Sports Porch podcast live. What we're watching, our couch report. What does that mean? You want to do it, Schwalber, or you want me to do it? It's up to you, dude.
You do it. I feel like you need to grow a little bit.
A little practice. All right.
I'd just like to see you grow in your development.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I appreciate your support. Mm-hmm. And with that, what we're watching, well, look, there's a lot of things out there that you can waste your time on. We're just thankful that you do waste your time to come here and watch us. So we're going to give you some of that time back. That's what we're going to do for you. It's also the dead zone, hockey playoffs around the corner. We'll see what happens there. Pirates opening days coming up. We'll see Steelers, So there's a lot of things that you can watch, and we're going to help you figure out what you should watch. We're going to let you know because we do that for you. That's how we give back to you. We will watch a season of a show. We'll watch a movie. We'll watch a documentary. We'll give it a thumbs up. We'll give it a thumbs down. We'll make you a superstar while you're watching the superstars, not counting the dumbasses on the Oscars last night. But anyway, we're going to do that for you now. And actually, we're going to start with the Grand Schwalbini. This is interesting because I have considered this.
You've considered seeing this?
Yes, I've considered watching this. Yes, or seeing this. Exactly.
By the way, I'm not the Hockey Jesus.
I know you're not. You're the Grand Schwalbini, and there you are. Yeah. The Grand Schwalbini went to see.
I did. I forgot that I did not bring this to the program. But I probably had seen this maybe like 6 weeks ago or something.
Okay.
Send Help with Rachel McAdams.
Right.
And the story here is Rachel McAdams is a bit of a, shall we say, loser, I guess.
I was thinking bluesy, but yeah, okay.
nerdy, not cool.
She doesn't look like a loser right there, man. She's like sexy with blood all over her, which is horrible to say.
She's a nerdy and not cool gal.
Right.
And she had a pretty big position at this major company, and the president of the company had promised her a big promotion. He dies. Then the kind of jackass son takes over the company, and she loses the promotion, and he promotes some like idiot from his fraternity who knows nothing. So she's angry with the boss. But anyway, the boss knows that they still need her at this big meeting that they're going to have, somewhere like in Taiwan or something like that. And so they get into a plane crash, and you have two survivors. You have Rachel McAdams, and you have the son who took over as boss. And Rachel McAdams doesn't care for this fellow. And Steve, you will actually find this particularly fun, I think, Steve, is that apparently
survivor aspects, right?
Yes, survivor aspects. The character that Rachel McAdams plays, she was a big fan of Survivor, and she sent in a Survivor tape to see if she could make the show. And have the guys on the plane watching her tape, and they're all laughing at her. Okay, but the point is that she knows Survivor skills, right?
Yeah.
So she basically, this guy comes completely dependent upon her, and I will tell you what, I'm going to give it a 2 thumbs up, but I will say, it won't shock me if you don't love it. The strange part of it is interesting. It's got some twists and turns that you might not see coming. But in the end, you're basically talking about 2 horrible people. So there's really, it's hard to kind of really root for somebody, when you're about 3/4 through the movie. So because of that, now some people might actually like it better because of that fact. But it's really, it's interesting. It's different than you would expect. So I'll give it a 2 thumbs up. Go see it. I think you'll enjoy it.
Grand Schwalbini, send help. It's a movie. Yes, it is. Hockey Jesus. You watch something. Looks like it's a comedy show.
It was a comedy show.
Taylor Tomlinson.
Taylor Tomlinson, Prodigal Daughter. It's an hour and about 9 minutes of her, comedy sketch. If you've seen her, it's similar to what she does, but she's become so refined in the way she tells jokes. She's kind of self-deprecating. She says how she's just not a good person, and she doesn't think herself as like pretty or anything like that. And she has a lot of family problems, and she talks about them wide open, and she bashes her parents. She bashes the Catholic Church. She just goes at it, but she does it in a really funny way. Like she it's like she'll give a compliment, and then she'll give the punchline to it, then it'd be not a compliment. I really enjoyed this. I was surprised because, she had a late night show for a little while that pretty much bombed. Nobody really was watching it. And, but her stand-up, I think, is some of the funniest stuff. I've seen all of her stuff. This is a brand new one. I guess she signed I think it's she's doing 2 more exclusively for Netflix. So you can only see this on Netflix. But to me, I think she's one of the funniest comedians out there. And if you like comedy, no matter what kind of comedy it is, she's not too vulgar, I don't think. She gets into detail. I guess she recently came out as bisexual. So that was kind of like her coming out party, as she said. So she had a little bit of fun with that. The differences between having sex with men and women. So it was actually quite funny.
I certainly don't want to hear an attractive woman talk about that.
What, being bisexual?
Yeah, I don't want to watch a show about that. Why would you even bring that up?
Because it's funny. The way she talks about it is absolutely hilarious. You would enjoy it, I promise.
Yeah, I know.
I'm giving it 2 thumbs up.
Do you think I'm being serious?
And I think you should watch it. I'm gonna get that one part for you. I'm gonna send you just that segment right behind the Napoleon Dynamite segment.
Please. Bullshit.
So Taylor Tomlinson, Prodigal Daughter, 2 thumbs up on Netflix only. You can only see it on Netflix.
All right. Awesome. Awesome. Okay, guys, I did a rewatch, and there's a reason I did a rewatch. I got to give a shout out to a buddy I work with, Kyle. He said to me one day, we were standing there, and he said, have you ever seen Sicario? And I said, yeah, a while ago. Like, it's like 10, 12 years old. He said, yeah, well, listen, watch it again.
It's good, man. It is good. I like it.
He said, just watch it again. And I said, okay, I'll watch it again. So I watched it again. I actually watched it last night with my wife. And I got to tell you, it's really good. So, millions of people watch this movie. A lot of people love it. So I'm going to encourage you to do the same thing. If it's been more than a few years, go back and watch it. I am now going to watch the sequel or sequels. I know there was one. Didn't another one just come out?
Yeah, there was. I know there was a second one that I saw.
Yeah,
that I liked.
So
yeah.
But the acting, Josh Brolin is one of my favorite actors. Benicio del Toro, Emily Blunt. What's really interesting is it was made in, I think, 2012, 2013, sometime around there. I don't remember exactly. But it deals with, obviously, the drug war and the CIA. 2015 is when the movie came out. The drug war, the CIA, and kind of how they have to use each other. And there's some very prescient information or comments when Josh Brolin says things like, we already lost the drug war. This is how we have to fight it now, which is getting down in the trenches and using a hitman to kill a drug lord, because that hitman wife and daughter were killed by that drug lord, and he was a hitman for both sides, so now we have to get down in the dirt. Hey, it's what we're doing every day. So go back and watch that movie. The acting is fantastic. The message is clear. It's still happening today. It's entertaining. And let me tell you, man, Benicio del Toro is one hell of an actor. I think he's the best actor I've seen in a long time who can say so much by actually saying so little. Kind of like,
oh, wow.
Kind of like me.
Wow. Right? This blew my mind.
Kind of like me. Kind of like me. We got a comment here. Joining late, Tomlin citing at the Knicks Warriors game. He was on screen. Yeah, thanks, Chris Chata, for being here. I know you're going to go back and watch the rest of the show. Listen, guys, join the conversation. Subscribe to the show on YouTube at the Sports Porch Podcast. Never miss a live stream by clicking notifications. We also want to hear from you. You can send your emails, your questions, your rants, and porch stories. Yes, I'm reading the ticker to ogsportsporch@gmail.com. I'm going to drop the podcast right after the show on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or anywhere you get your freaking podcasts. It's almost Bucko season. For the TD, that's me. For the Grand Schwalbini, that's Hockey Jesus. This is the Sports Porch Black and Gold. We are out. We'll see you next week. Good longs.